Hey, how's everybody once again? So, in today's video, I wanted to talk about how the majority of males nowadays, in spite of what race or ethnicity, have no choice but to be a step parent, or not be a step parent, because even if you may be with a woman, you may be a man or a young man with no kids at all, but may still be dating a woman or taking care of that woman's kids or seeds, or seeds in most cases, by so many of them having multiple kids nowadays, and that same breath having multiple kids by multiple guys, which is even that much more of a headache. That still doesn't officially make you a stepfather, because you have to still marry the woman to officially and technically be classified as a stepfather. Anyway, men or young men, not just grown, more mature men, but men in general, whether you may be a young man that's a teenager and maybe dating for the first time a woman with kids. As a matter of fact, a prime example would be how there are so many females nowadays that are as young as middle school age, unfortunately as young as 13 and 14 years old, that have kids. In fact, some have multiple kids that young of age. And speaking of which, I could remember back during my younger years, as far back as my 20s, there would be times when I would date women only to find out that they had kids, which was a deal breaker for me. Unlike with my current wife, once we met, neither one of us had kids. Until this day, neither one of us had kids. Therefore, I was a whole lot more relieved and happier when we first met years back, almost 10 years ago, and found out that she didn't have kids, because that's a lot to take in, not factoring in how if you may be a guy without kids but may happen to fall deeply in love with a woman, for the most part, the two of you may start out texting each other, due to how the majority of people nowadays don't really like talking on the phone. Couples, that is, when they first meet each other, they like to instead either video chat with one another or text each other until they end up arranging to go out on dates, and eventually, if they may be feeling each other's vibe, the both of them becoming serious. It may come a case when a man may meet a woman and they may happen to hit it off, only for her to finally break the news to him that she has a kid, or in most cases, like I said earlier in the video, multiple kids. However, he may try to play it off like it's not a problem. She may ask him if that's a problem or not, knowing good and well and deep down inside that it is a problem, because here is a man without no kids at all dating a woman who happens to meet all his requirements, and vice versa, he happens to meet all her requirements, and he eventually find out that she has kids already from a previous relationship or relationships in most cases. As a matter of fact, when I think about it, I have looked at it quite and listened to quite a bit of show reruns of the Kendra G show, who is an African American female dating coach slash matchmaker, who happens to always interview singles, different women, and from time to time, men, specifically African American descent, who may have either been through a divorce or never have been married. In most cases, may have had kids before from previous relationships or a previous marriage. Anyway, I have listened to quite a bit of previous shows of hers and has listened to her try to match up women's that are single, once again, and particularly African American women, and it never fails. Pretty much all of them that she has interviewed or tried to matchmake when someone else has happened to have kids or happen to have kids in the process. Not just one kid or two, but some may have as many as 6, 7 kids. And not only that, but and to make matters even worse, some may have multiple kids only to be pregnant with another kid on the way, but still may be seeking someone else to be in a relationship with. And contrary to the person that they may be pregnant by or may have gotten pregnant by. Anyway, I'm saying, my point of saying all this is that men or males in general, once again, in spite of racial background or ethnicity, has no choice nowadays but to date women or females with kids. I know for some of you who don't have kids at all would prefer to meet a woman and hit her off with a woman without kids at all to avoid all that baby daddy drama, so to speak. Because some of you women do have guys that you may have had kids or a kid by, only for you to go your separate ways, or it may come a case where you may have gotten pregnant and had his kid or kids only for him to eventually get incarcerated. And then he may serve his time, get released from prison, only to find out that his baby mama has a new boyfriend, or his kid's father. Because I hate using that term, to be honest. Baby mama, it's just such a contradiction of terms. Instead, I just would prefer to say his children's mother or child's mother. Once he finds out that he's either his children's mother or his child's mother is seeing someone else, once he were to get out of prison, in most cases, it's always a big mess. He may, in other words, threaten to do something really unpredictable or tragic to the new boyfriend. Unlike if the woman may not have kids, nor the guy doesn't really have to deal with things of that nature. However, and on another note, it may come a case when neither one, the guy or the woman, may not have kids, may happen to fall deeply in love with each other, may hit it off with each other, but she may happen to have boyfriend from a previous relationship who may happen to be crazy as well, who may be a stalker. Anyway, I'm going to end this video, not going to drag it that much more longer. And when all that being said, I wanted you guys' opinion that may be listening to this video. How do you feel nowadays, due to the simple fact of how it's hard for the most part? However, there are some and very few females, especially over the age of 20 plus, without kids, but it's like almost looking for a needle in a haystack. How do you feel for all you guys that may not have kids at all, when you happen to hit it off with women and everything that may happen to meet all your requirements, only to find out after you do become serious, after not knowing it when you first met that woman, that she may have a kid, or in most cases kids? Would you instead prefer, or do you prefer dating women without kids instead. So make sure, first and foremost, you like the video, comment right down below in the comment section, share the video so the video as well as the channel will end up becoming more viral and mainstream. Last but not least, subscribe to the video as well. Until next time, have a very safe, blessed, and prosperous day.